Hi YouTube, it's Maddie the Empty Nest Scrapper, and I'm coming back to you today with a video that I've been thinking about doing for quite some time. The reason I thought about doing this video is because I had seen a number of very prominent YouTubers bravely come on YouTube and talk about the items that they would not purchase again. The reason it's brave for them, it is their livelihood. They rely on product sponsorship many times, and when they come out and say this is not for me, even though it's a great product, it does put them at risk. And I really appreciate finding out the information about products that maybe were not as useful for them as they had initially hoped. So for those of us who are hobbyists and we're spending our own money, and many of them are spending a lot of their own money, we want to know, what did you really think? Not the first time you tried it, but after you had it for a while, and are you still using it? Is it still fun for you? Is there something that came out that you like better? And not to say that it wasn't a great product and isn't a great product, but maybe something that you have more than one kind of, and a different one is really the one that you're using. So I'm going to get started with my not professional, crafty, hobbyist view on what I would not buy again. And for those of us who are putting our crafty wish list together, this is something that you want to maybe keep in mind when you are hoping for something for the holidays, or making a list or wishing for, and then you find out, hey, maybe I want the other one, or maybe this is really not for me, and start looking up maybe more review videos, different ways to take a look before you take the plunge. Because we've all bought things that we wish we hadn't, and there's a little shame attached to that, but until we tried it, we didn't know. So let's try to collectively let go of that shame and share for other people what we wouldn't go back to. My first item is this Xyron Mega Runner. It looked like a great item for me. It had 100 feet of adhesive, and it had a much smaller profile than the tape runner I had been using, the tried and true pink Crafty tape runner. And I thought, this I can throw in my crop bag. It's not so heavy. It'll be easier to manage. Well, this adhesive just did not come out. I couldn't get it to work. It may be user error, keep that in mind, but this is a no-go for me, and I tried buying additional adhesive, all the same. So my caveat is, could be user error. I'm very good at making errors, but that one was not for me, and I wouldn't recommend it. These guys, Gelatos. First of all, what a cool name, Gelatos, right? And a lot of people seem to use it, whether it's mixed media, card makers, scrapbookers. Looks like a really fun thing. You have a variety of colors. You can get so many. They are small, easy to store. You just pull it out like a lipstick, scribble with it, add water, and it does do lots of fun things. They are a bit pricey because they come in small packs. I bought, I think, two. I think I bought 2 packages of them. And they do exactly what they said they were going to do. But you know what? I have a problem with these water-soluble crayons. I just have too many. I have the Keren Tamir. I have the Stabilo. I have watercolor pencils. I just don't need them all. And these, because they come out flat like that, as opposed to coming to a point like the other ones that I have in my stash, I just don't reach for them as often as the others. So for me, I think I would just stick with the other brands that I have, and maybe not bought so many of the Gelatos. They were the first ones I heard about, so it's not as if I had other ones prior to purchasing them. But now that I have a few other choices, this is not something I would have gone back to again. Next up, I saw a very prominent crafter recommend this, the Gina K Amalgam ink. Now again, it may be user error, but this ink was, I was convinced this would work with watercolor. This would work with alcohol ink. And I was convinced that I really, really needed that. So I didn't buy it on the website because the shipping was so exorbitant for just the one item that I wanted. But I did see it at a stamp show a couple of years ago when we could still have stamp shows, and I picked it up. And guess what? You may be able to use it with watercolor. You may be able to use it with alcohol ink. But for me, it gave a terrible image, and I wouldn't use it with anything. So Gina K Amalgam, no go for me. This one may come as a surprise for everyone. It's the VersaFine Black, and I loved this for many years because this gives a fantastic image. But this system of cover, it just made me mess up my stamping time and time again. I could not get it to work without knocking my hand. And however, the image it gives is awesome, and I would still be using it if VersaFine did not come out with this. It's, as far as I can tell, just about the same product without that flippy flappy cover, and I love it. Not going back to the old formula, which may be the same formula, not going back to the old case. So there's another one. If you're looking for a great black ink and you're trying to decide, is there any difference between the two? If there is no other difference at all, that's still an important thing to look at. Okay, these guys, talked about this recently in a different video. These guys looked like they were super fun when I saw Tim Holtz demo this. First of all, look how cute it is. Isn't that cute? And there's a surprise inside, even better, right? So this is a blender for your inks. So if you like blending your inks when you are making a card or a background for your scrapbooking, this does not give the harsh edges of the traditional blender that Ranger first came out with, and it really did work well for the minute that I used it. But this, which is designed to make the brush larger and smaller, I found very difficult to keep still while I was doing my blending. And when the makeup brushes came out, well, you know, the life-changing brushes came out, which, you know, that's a pet peeve of mine. Craft products don't change your life, let's be real. But when those brushes came out, I knew that that was not something I was going to spend my money on. But I did purchase some makeup brushes that I find are fantastic for blending, and I will never use these again. I wish I hadn't bought it, and I will certainly not be buying more. So another thing, now this product could actually be a fantastic product, but you will see it has not been opened. Did not even open it. Dr. P.H. Martin's liquid watercolor. So my question to you, please help me here. I wish I did not buy it because I never even tried it. And my big problem here is, what do I use this for? Do you guys have this product? What do you use it for? I have to, that's a big lesson. From now on, since this product, when I want to purchase something, I ask myself, what am I gonna use that for? You would think that that would be something that you wouldn't have to ask yourself. A normal person would only buy something that they knew they wanted to use for a specific reason. Not me. I saw a lot of people had this. They loved it. And I thought, ooh, look at the pretty colors. I'm just like a toddler. And I picked it up when I saw a good price. So I'm not 100% sure that I wouldn't buy this again. But unless somebody helps me out and tells me, what are they using this for? I don't know what I'm going to use it for. So that one's a big question mark, but it is on the hit parade. Okay, here's something else. People were raving about guillotine trimmers. I had always used a slide trimmer and I was very happy with it. But I saw that Paper Studio had a sale on their guillotine trimmer. It is exactly like the We Are Memory Keepers trimmer. And it works fine. But I found out that I don't really like a guillotine trimmer. And the other thing I found out, which I never realized, with my slide trimmer, there is a ridge at the bottom. And I tend to go for that ridge at the bottom when I'm lining up my cardstock. I did not realize that. This one has no ridge at the bottom. So although this is a nice size, it's small, it's handy, it cuts fine, not my cup of tea, wish I didn't buy it. However, if you like a guillotine trimmer, it doesn't bother you that there's no ridge at the bottom, with the coupon, this thing cost me $7. And for $7, I don't even feel bad. So that's a story on that. Another item that I purchased a few of is these Dilutions paints. These are beautiful paints, don't get me wrong. They are of great quality, but they come in these glass containers, and I find the delivery system very annoying. I have some other acrylic paints. They come in little tubes when I'm doing my art journaling, and I just take a little out. This one, you need a sponge, you need a brush. I find it messy. And although the product is great, the delivery system, not my favorite. I wish I would have known she was going to come out with the little bottles, because I would much prefer using that. So if you don't have any and are looking for acrylic paints, I would recommend Dilutions. These are still out there on Amazon, but I would say if you have a choice, even though less paint comes in the smaller tubes, I would go for those smaller tubes. Some people may love this system, think that this is much better to use when they are art journaling, just not my cup of tea. Next up, I have this set of Arteza Real Brush pens. So, a few years ago, Arteza became very big. These are their Real Brush pens. I bought a set of 48. Now, I already had, take a look, they are real brushes. bristles and all. I already had a set of Zig pens. It was a small set. It is a small set. These Arteza were so much more reasonably priced. I decided to treat myself to this large set of 48. And what I found out was I liked the Zig pens better. Now the ink inside may be exactly the same, but the Zig pens have a much smaller brush. And for me, that is important because it is much easier for me to manage a smaller brush than a larger brush. So although this may be a fantastic product, I wish I hadn't bought them because I never use them. Never ever. Because the Zigs are the ones that I can maneuver. Again, user error, but if you're a user like me, give it a little thought. Next up, surprisingly, an Exacto knife. So what could be wrong with an Exacto knife? Exacto is a tried and true brand, absolutely. Tried and true. Everybody knows Exacto. This cover falls off all the time. This blade, because I thought I was being smart and bought a replaceable blade, falls off all the time. Also, it's probably user error, but I'm the user and I'm making the error, and I'm not going to use this. I have many other craft knives. They don't fall apart. This one, I wish I hadn't bought, and I'll never use again. Last item, my Hero Arts stamp cleaner. I had seen this demoed. I thought this looks like a great product, and it probably is. However, when I was watching it demoed, I did not realize that most of the time I was seeing people either using it with a stamp that was on a block or a wooden stamp. And I use a stamp positioner. So if you use a stamp positioner, when you take it off the positioner and it's a clear stamp, you'd either have to take out a clear block to use this to clean it, but I'm not using a clear block, so that's not coming to my mind. What's coming to my mind is to reach for my stamp chamois, which I keep on my desk, or even a baby wipe, because I never have my stamp, be it red rubber or acrylic, attached to a block or wood stamp. So this I wish I had never bought. I didn't realize I was going to have no use for it whatsoever. So that's the end of the products that I would not purchase again. And I hope you find it useful when you're looking to maybe make a list of things that you are going to try or have on your wish list for the holidays. I realize that none of these are new to the market, but I don't know if you can make a list if it's an item that's new to the market because you haven't really used it yet. So if there is something you had been waiting on, maybe the marker set or a guillotine trimmer, maybe it helps you give an idea if you want to look at more reviews or compare it to other items before you decide this is the one I want to try. So for prominent crafters' recommendations on what they would not purchase again, I recommend It's Me JD, Tiffany Solorio, and Keren Tamir. And I will link those videos down at the bottom because I found their videos super useful. And if I didn't touch on something that you were thinking about purchasing, maybe they did. Their items were different than mine. So I just wanted to give you my honest thoughts on some items that I have in my stash. What I'm going to do about them or with them, I don't know. A giveaway maybe, a sharing with friends. We'll see what happens with those. Maybe I'll try them. Maybe somebody will give me a recommendation as to how to use those PH Martins, and I will try them and use them and love them and keep them. But for now, those are items that virtually go untouched almost all the time. So in an attempt to help you not go down that rabbit hole as many times as I did, I thought I'd share that information. I hope you found it useful. So I just want to say, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give a thumbs up, and ring the bell so you know when a video of mine is coming out next. In the meantime, stay safe and happy crafting. Bye, everybody.